Welcome, everyone, to Thors Hammer, brought to you by VikeFans.com. This show is going to be epic. This is the Border Battle Show, and we have a very special guest on with us this evening. He's been on before, probably the most popular / knowledgeable guy on the board, and we are very proud to have him with us. I'm Viking Bob, and I am jacked up again on Jack and Coke. I'm in my man cave going absolutely bonkers waiting for Sunday. But before we bring on our guest like last week, here are my partners. We have Mike Olson back. We got Georgia Vike and OBM. Guys, how you doing? Georgia Vike.
Hey, I'm doing good. I'm on my Miller Lite tonight. So the 64 is on the hiatus this week. Living the dream here. living the dream here in the Redneck Riviera, known as Jackson, Mississippi.
All right, we'll leave you alone for now. OBM, how are you?
Hey, how's it going, guys? In the land of sunny and 70 degrees, Phoenix, Arizona, and I am drinking some Jack on the rocks and enjoying a nice, cool Arizona evening and thinking ahead a little to that Arizona Vikings game here coming up in December. Can't wait to hopefully meet a few guys from the board and tear some shit up with them. So life is good. Life is good.
Alrighty. And this week we got Mike Olson back. Mike, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good. You know, I was just Googling how many calories are in a Miller Lite, and it appears that there are 96 calories in a Miller Lite. So TV's really stepping shit up this week, let me tell you.
Yep. I'm living hardcore over here, gangster style.
Personally, I'm drinking a Glenfiddich 15, and it's delicious.
What the hell was that?
A Glenfiddich. It's Scotch whiskey.
Jibber jabber boober dinner. Yeah, I that's my favorite. Yeah, I love that stuff.
Yeah,
Is that
you
the
gotta
double
make it.
Dutch punch.
You gotta make it more than 10 feet into the liquor store to find it. So
You gotta have 30 more syllables that damn word that whatever you're drinking.
All right, gentlemen. I'm going to introduce the guests right away this week. Then we're going to talk about the game against the Raiders, and then, of course, the Pack. Ladies and gentlemen at home listening, we brought Brian Robeson's dad back. We loved having him first time, and he's back this time. But this time, we're talking nothing but football, because you already know him. Pops, welcome aboard.
How's it going, guys? Sounds like everybody's feeling real good tonight. I wish I could join you.
Well, you're there in spirit. All right, this time let's get into Odin's Eye, where we talk about last game against the Raiders. It was a very exciting game. Unfortunately, Walsh finally missed one and almost a turning point, but I think the big turning point of that game was Vaseline hands Kyle Rudolph dropping an easy touchdown in the end zone. We left a lot of points on the field, but in the end, we are one going away. So it's not much to complain about other than maybe, our offense didn't put up the numbers other than Peterson. Teddy's got to do a little bit better than what he's been doing, but hey, a win's a win. I'm happy. I'm jacked. I'm on the Super Bowl wagon. I'm driving the damn thing. Like I said, come Sunday, we win this game, I'll be pushing the thing from behind. I don't care. I don't need any friggin' horses. So from there, OBM, fill me in your thoughts of last week's game.
I thought, like you said, we had the big drop by Rudolph. That was a little disappointing. We got some points out there on the field this week. We missed a couple of field goals and then the drop by Rudolph. But you know what? 3 road wins already this year. How can you complain? At this point, I'm looking at this team and thinking the same thing. Right now we're built to win. I thought we were going to be a year away, but as long as Teddy isn't turning the ball over and we're playing like we're playing, the Raiders, they were no joke. They're 4-4, but they're a much improved team and an up and coming team, just like the Vikings are right now. So just to go on the road and win that game, it's just really, really hard to point the finger at anyone and complain. So happy with the win, happy with the Packers loss. It was a great week, and the way Adrian Peterson's running now, the way he ran on Sunday, he's starting to run angry, man. He's looking like just an absolute beast out there lately. So I'm pretty thrilled with it. What do you think, GB?
I thought it was an excellent game. I was rather surprised. I'm loving how this defense is adapting to the offense. The last few weeks here, you can see the offense kind of comes out for whomever we're playing, get some quick points on the board, and Zimmer and the defense locks down. They make changes and they go after them and kick their ass. My favorite part of this week is I don't know if you guys ever watched any of that NFL Sounds of the game where they have guys mic'd up during the week. This week they had Khalil Mack mic'd up playing the Vikings, and he's sitting there talking shit the entire first half of that game. And basically, Adrian Peterson made him a lot lizard. He said, "Suck it," and kicked his ass in the second part. He didn't say nothing for basically the second half of the game. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. But it's just watching this team, every week there's somebody new stepping up on defense. This week being Newman, it's just, the week before was Linval Joseph. It's just every week Kendricks, Barr, whomever, Robinson, someone different every single week is chipping in so that you can't key in on anybody. And I love it. These guys are playing as a team and they're kicking some ass. I'm just really excited about it. And as far as the offense, they could have laid a 40 burger on them. This game would have been for the drop touchdown, 2 missed field goals. It would have been 40-14. This game was a bigger blowout than what it said on the scoreboard.
I agree. Pops, give us your input.
Oh yeah, what was just said, I totally agree. I was expecting a tight game, but in for the most part, we left a lot of points out on the field. It should have been a blowout, and all we need to do right now is the offense to start scoring those points that are left out on the field. And it appears sometimes when they get inside the red zone, is where they're slowing down. I don't know what it has to do with, but for the most part, the other team is in most of the cases have done just that. But yet we're still scoring. So as long as they can keep putting the points up on the board, I think the defense is going to be handling the other side.
Hey, Pops, can I ask you a quick question?
Yeah.
Just for the record, for everyone listening to this thing, is it Robison or Robinson?
It's Robinson.
Okay, thank you.
Pops, I got
a question for you too, Pop. Who has caught the bigger fish, you or D-Rob?
I can't lie about that one. For years it was me, but about 2 or 3 years ago, he finally passed me. He's got me right now by about a pound.
Awesome. That is awesome. Nothing like a little fishing rivalry in the family, eh?
Oh yeah, it's fun. We get at each other.
Alrighty. So from there, let's go right into the upcoming game this weekend against the hated rival Packers in the border battle. This game, we win this one. We basically go up by 2.5 games, and we start not even bother looking at the Green Bay Packers in our rear view mirror because they won't be able to see us anymore anyway. And if they lose, along with the Bears winning, they'll be worried about the Bears catching their ass. So from there, I think this is our biggest game, obviously, this year, maybe in a couple of years, by far. So this game, this is what we're going to find out what this team is made of. And like I've been saying for weeks now, this team is built on defense, running the ball, chewing up the clock, keeping the defense fresh, getting turnovers, getting the ball back in Teddy's hands on a short field. I see that doing again this week. There's no better time for this game than now. I'll go to Pops first. Pops, what do you think?
Yeah. I agree with you. This is probably the biggest game of the year because if they can get over that hump of realizing they can be the best in this division, and they are the best, like Green Bay's had it in their mind for several years now. And if they can get over that and get the one game out of the way, we're liable to go in there and whoop everybody from the rest of the year. Because the second half of the season is just it's the toughest schedule in the league. Now, who knew that? But nobody did up until you start playing the games. But by the time it gets to the eighth game, you're looking at the second half of the season, it becomes the toughest schedule of anybody in the league. Then if you know you can go through that schedule, then and come out at least, 4 out of the 5, 6 games there than the last 2 that you have, it's going to be simple.
Yeah, there is no easy games this second half now. None.
Nope. And none of them will be overlooked. And I don't think, even though the Packers are on a 3-game skid, then there's nobody looking at them and saying, okay, this is going to be an easy game. It can't be. They don't do that. And the mentality that this team has is it's spread throughout the team as you don't overlook anybody. You don't, just because you won a few games, you don't look back. You want to win them all. And unfortunately, the San Francisco game just screwed their heads up. Now, I think they had that same mentality going in there, but it was more of a mentality that was going to be an easy game by looking at what San Francisco had lost and everything else. And I think now that kind of slapped them in the face and said, so they don't overlook any games. So no matter what somebody's record is, it doesn't matter. But as long as they can keep doing what they're doing, and if the other team can't score, they can't beat you.
Absolutely, I agree. Georgia Vite, give us your input, big guy.
I think this is the biggest game we've had, obviously, since 2009 when we played the Packers and Brett Favre went back there. The Vikings were playing good at the time, and him going back home. Then when we went in Lambeau and beat them there, it put kind of an exclamation mark on what was going on, and that this team started rolling forward with that. This week, I'm not gonna say it's a changing of the guards because obviously we're Green Bay's still a good team. They've lost 3 in a row, but you know what? That's nothing. There's a lot of football left to be played, but it is a division match, and right now with Green Bay having the loss in the division, if we win this game this week against Green Bay, that'll put us 4-0 in the division with 2 games left to go against division opponents, and Green Bay being 2 games behind us. That's equivalent to a 3-game lead. Green Bay would have to win out against the division to take us over. I don't see that happen. I obviously we have tough games. Anything can happen. Injuries, the ball can bounce certain ways. But this game is huge for the future of the Vikings and the Vikings fan base. It's also huge for the guys like Brian, and Adrian Peterson who have been on these losing squads the past few years to see something finally coming together. I can watch Greenway, Brian, Adrian every week. These guys are they're dumping their heart and soul into this stuff. They know this is one of the last few opportunities that they're going to have. They're putting together let's do this, and they're getting these young guys, pumped up as well. So I'm stoked for this game.
I am too. And tell you what, the Green Bay Packers are definitely not a pushover coming Sunday. Because here's why: they are a wounded, cornered animal. Nothing is more scary than that. They lose this game, and basically they're almost kissing their season or division away. OBM, our stat man. Fire away with some stats, big guy. Tell us why we're going to win this one.
Well, I'll tell you what, guys. First things first, if the Vikings win this game, we have a 3-game lead on the Packers. All the Milwaukee's best ice in fucking Green Bay won't be enough for the Packer fans this weekend. Because the Vikings are about to take the Packers down this weekend. Let me tell you why. Number 1, we are 1-9-1 in the last 7 games against the Packers. That's about to change. Number 2, Green Bay has the 23rd run defense in the NFL. Hello, Adrian Peterson. You're about to make Clay Matthews your bitch this week at the goal line.
Yes.
I almost feel bad for Clay Matthews, but I don't, because he's a Packer.
Is this Brian Bosworth versus Bo Jackson 2.0?
This is going to be Brian Bosworth, Bo Jackson, Thursday Night Football 2.0. Adrian is going to run over Clay Matthews. He's going to truck him like you truck someone in a game of Madden on the Xbox. It is going to be ugly. It is going to be ugly for the Packers defense when Adrian gets the ball. And number 3, how's this for a stat? In all 4 wins, over the last 14, we're 4-10 against Green Bay. 4-10-1, I think. So 15 games. In our 4 wins against Green Bay, we have 23 sacks. All right, so that's going back to when Jared had 3.5 sacks, those big sack games against Rodgers back in 2009 when we swept them. But 4 wins, 23 sacks. And our 10 losses, 20 total sacks. So I think it's real important that we get to Aaron Rodgers and we hit him a lot. Do we need the sacks? No, but we just need to rattle him a little bit. And right now, he's rattled. That guy, if you watched last week's game, he did not look like the Aaron Rodgers that we've grown accustomed to watching. And it was awesome watching him get rattled last week. And that was the Lions, guys, the Lions. So I think we can rattle him a little bit. And one other stat I'll throw out there is Rodgers in the last 5 games, he hasn't thrown for a 65% completion rate in the last 5 games. So the Jordy Nelson injury has definitely come into play, I think. And I think this week I think we're gonna kick their asses. I think we're gonna win by, dare I say, 10 to 13 points. I hate to be the guy to say that this early, but I don't know how Green Bay can hang with us, to be honest with you. As long as Teddy does not turn the ball over and we don't turn the ball over and Kyle Rudolph doesn't drop something in the end zone, just like last week, it should have been, 40-14, and it was 30-14. But I think this week we're going to see the Vikings come out. Stats are with us. Eric Kendricks is back. This defense is ready to kick some ass, and I see the Vikings winning this game. I really do. And 3-game lead, 8-2, and I'll tell you what, you think the media loves the Vikings this week? Next week, they might be giving out Hummers to everyone on the Vikings because the Vikings are about to show the country how good they really are.
OBM, do you buy into this Aaron Rodgers shoulder injury? Do you think he's just coming up with excuses, or do you think it's really an issue for him right now?
I don't think I'm buying any of Aaron Rodgers' issues. I think they said he had calf and shoulder and his cock. I don't know what's hurting him, but the bottom line is this week, I think the Vikings defense is going to step up. They're going to play well. Zimmer has his team motivated. In fact, you heard Zimmer's locker room speech, and I'm sure Pops did. How awesome was that? When he asked the team, hey, what does it mean to be in first place in the division right now? Nothing. We'll talk about it at, what's important is where they end at the end of the season. So he's got those guys motivated. He had them come in on Monday and do work, watch film. These guys are ready, and, it's a year earlier than I thought, you thought, TV, but this is a team on the rise. And right now, the way they're playing and the way that defense is playing and the way Adrian Peterson is playing, I don't know how the Vikings lose this game, to be honest with you, unless they just shoot themselves in the foot repeatedly. It's just my thought.
I agree with you, big guy. You know me, I was on that bandwagon last week, the Super Bowl bandwagon.
Now you're talking shit again, Bob. Stop.
No, I am jacked up.
Quit drinking the Kool-Aid and quit jinxing the team, all right? Stop it.
I'm not drinking Kool-Aid, man. I'm drinking Jack. I'm jacked up.
Yeah.
I was jacked up last week. And look what happened. Are we all in agreement that we're going to win? Anybody think we're going to lose? Other than Georgia Mike?
I never think we're going to win. I go into it. They like to be the underdog. I go into it. Anything can happen in the NFL on Sunday. And even though I know who the better team is, I still look at it and I say, let them surprise me. Let them go out there and tear their ass to pieces and surprise me.
Well, I got to agree, like you said, Pops, that any given Sunday, anything can happen. But so far, the past 5 weeks now. Even the loss to Denver wasn't that bad. I mean, the team was playing well. So on any given Sunday, that if our team goes out there and plays their game, I expect them to win now.
It's hard. I don't know how you can say that though, Bob. I understand how you can say everyone's got their own opinion. I still go in every week after I've talked about many times having your heart broken. But to win in this league is very difficult. It's easy to get ahead of ourselves with a team that's doing well, but it's a lot easier that if I'm going the games expecting the Vikings to lose. I love the Vikings. I love them. That's why we're here.
All right. So you're thinking you go in the mentality of, oh, we're going to lose. So if they do, you're not disappointed.
No, I'm just a real fan. Trust me. I remember the days. I used to watch this team and go, oh, we're going to kick their ass. And 3 hours later, I'm like, what the f- happened? So I'm not doing that anymore. I'm not all in. I'm drinking the Kool-Aid saying, yep, this team can't lose. We're going to win out. We're going to go 14-2 this year. No, that's just unrealistic. Anything can happen in this league. And, we said that last week. The only person that called the game right last week for, the Detroit over Green Bay was 1-0 BM. Not that he was out of his effing mind, but you see what happened? Any given Sunday. That's why I think the Packer fans are even more crushed this week and demoralized is because of that loss.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, 24 years since the Packers lost to Detroit? And
Barry Sanders was in his third year the last time they won there.
Yeah, that's insane. Holy cow. I
was in high school.
Good Lord, yeah. And that's the thing. Anything can happen. But, last week we all thought, wow, the Raiders probably got their number. It's a road game. It's going to be a tough game. And, half of us are picking the Raiders, half of us picked the Vikings. So, I mean, anything can happen. And, yeah, we are pretty pumped up. But you just look at this team and the way I think Zimmer has made such an influence in that locker room that I think it's really changed how the players think. I think they act more professional. I think they're game planning better. And the biggest thing I've seen is we're actually making adjustments at halftime. I mean, we shut them out in the second half completely on the road. I mean, that's something that previous Viking teams they just didn't do that very well, it seemed to me. We did not make the proper adjustments at halftime, and we're seeing that now. So there is a reason to be optimistic, and if you're a Vikings fan, after this week, when we do this next week, you guys are all going to be in a good mood. We're going to be 8-2, baby. 8-2.
In years past, as you were just saying, OBM, is we've the second half of this game, we shut them out. We're winning these close games. We're shutting people down when we need to rather than losing these close games. And that says a lot about the perseverance of the defense. These guys coming together, knowing their roles, doing their job without looking for the superstar stats. And I love that. Zimmer has these guys playing good.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I think it's going to continue. And, are we going to beat the Packers in Lambeau? Probably not. That's a tough game anytime you're on the road. But anything can happen, like Pop said, and right now I'm just going to ride that wave. I'm going to ride the Zimmer bandwagon, and I'm just, we haven't even really gotten into it, but, we got some guys that are just playing outstanding football right now. The entire defensive line and the depth we have up there right now is the best I've seen in my life, and that's just my opinion. And Linval Joseph right now, I mean, if he's not considered for Defensive Player of the Year. I mean, it's early, but right now I'm watching that guy every week, and that guy is a fucking beast out there. So that's a guy that I'm looking at, and he's doing things on that defensive line, just changing how teams are going to have to game plan for him the way that guy's playing right now. So it's a great time to be a Vikings fan, and this week, Vikes 8-2. Write that shit down. 8-2. Pops, are you with me?
Oh yeah. I agree with you on what a lot of what you're saying. The defense. What's impressive about the defense, and pretty much the offense too. I mean, we started the season out with our starting center out, with our right tackle gone for the year, and we started a right tackle that was a rookie. He's come a long way, and he's doing a real good job. And then you look at the other side, and defense. somebody said it a while ago. From 1 week it's this guy stepping up, 1 week it's that guy stepping up. I think, be truthful with you, it's all every week they come out to do their jobs. That's the mentality that this defense has gotten. That I think Zimmer was trying to get that started last year and get it to where don't worry about your stat numbers, don't worry about this. Go out, do what you're supposed to do. Everybody does what you're supposed to do, and they've got no place to go.
Well, Pops, I don't know if you heard the show last week that we did. We were talking about the game against the Rams. I mentioned Brian probably having the play of the game in overtime when he just stayed at home. Didn't chase, didn't fall for it. He stayed at home, and he waited for Tavon Austin to come around, and he just leveled him. I think it was a 3-yard loss, which set up the great plays of overtime. 3 and out, we get the ball back, we went down, kick a field goal, we win. It was great. So to segue from what you said, that of all these guys not worrying about their stats and just doing their job, that was like one of the best examples I've seen all year. I was very happy to see him just stand there, wait, and then level Austin.
The first couple of times when they ran that in the first half, I was like, so after the game I had to ask, was that your guy? And they said, no. And he says, well, you got him in the second half. What happened? He said, well, we like you said, they changed what they were doing, and he was actually there for support. It wasn't his guy the first part of the game, but when they changed it in the second half, he was supposed to he was supposed to support, and that's what he was doing. And first I was thinking, oh, you're getting your ass whooped. But, hey, I was looking at the speed of Tavon Austin. I was like, shit, that guy can run.
Oh, yeah.
And so, I mean, it was, it's just like you said, it's just people got to stay at home. You can't, you want to look at it like I look at Brian sometimes. And when I'm watching the game, I get to see the game whenever the offense is on the field. When the defense is on the field, my eyes are glued on one person. So I guess I'd say afterwards, well, did you screw up that play or did you screw up this play? But, it's a matter of everybody doing their job and not worrying about their stats.
Can I stem off what you were just saying there? Not to go completely off subject. Do you think that's a problem with football these days, that too many agents are doing the talking? So all these players are looking out for themselves rather than playing like a team, kind of like Zimmer's getting these guys to do. Do you think that's caused a lot of talent to go downhill because they're more worried about the stats and the paycheck than they are about playing as a team in championships?
Well, I think that probably has a lot more to do with the confidence in themselves that they have. I don't. It's not necessarily the agents. Trust me, the agents are just going there with whatever firepower they can to fight for their guy and everything. But at the end of the day, the GM's going to have the say so of what he wants to see and what he don't want to see. And,
but if you look at it, what if Brian would have walked in and said, "Well, last season I had 12 sacks, and this season I had 2 sacks, even though this season he played a hell of a lot better than last season." Do you think that gets the player's mindset though, in the back of his head, like, I better get the sacks rather than covering this guy over here because the sacks are going to get me paid?
And in some instances, it probably does. It probably has a lot to do with it because you've got some of the players that they expect themselves to get those stats, and if they're not getting them, that they have a fear of losing their job. And with that being said, you got some of them that don't care about their own stat. I mean, don't care about the team. They want their own stats. They care about themselves. And that's the one thing that this team seems to do. Is like Brian takes a lot of crap by the other guys because they know how hard he's working the people he's going against, how hard he's working against double teams, or how hard he's busting his ass to get there. And what I've seen from Brian, he's come to the part where probably a little bit of last year and this year, he's come to I guess, accepting the fact that, you know what, I play on the left side. If I do get a clean shot, this damn quarterback's going to be staring me in the eyes anyway. So if I do what I do, then maybe somebody else will get the sack. We win the game. It doesn't matter then. And that's pretty much the way that looks. But, the agents aren't, they'll tell their guys, hey, if you're in a contract year, we need something out of it. We need something to go to the table and bargain. But, whether they get it or they don't get it, it's still same thing. You're going up there, the GM's going to say what he's going to say, and to the agent, and the players can just say, here I am. And in my opinion, what I feel is those coaches out on there need to bend the ear of the GM if they got a guy who's doing like Linville Joseph, like Brian, like all of them are doing this year. They're not, well, actually, we'll look at it. Nobody's running away with a whole lot of sacks. But yet, they're all knocking the piss out of the quarterback and putting it on them. And like Zimmer said, sometimes that's better than sacks because you get him worried. And just like you said with earlier about Rodgers acting like he's scared, like he's worried. Well, hell, you don't have to sack him. Just hit him 4 or 5 times, and he knows he's going to get hit whether he's got the ball or not. That works on him too.
I'd rather hit a quarterback 10 times than sack him twice. Any day.
Yeah, I would. I would too. If you knock the piss out of them and you put a hurting on them, because most of this station, you can't sack a quarterback nowadays. Like it was back with the era of the Purple People Eaters.
Hey, Pop, a question for you. In Brian's career as his father, is Zimmer the best coach in your mind he's played for defensively?
No doubt about it. This whole coaching staff, excuse me, this whole coaching staff is I think pretty much by far the best coaching staff he's ever played for. And you can see it. You can see what Zimmer's done over 2 years. And it just, at times, I look at it and I think, why couldn't he have been there when Brian came into the league? Now it's in the twilight of his career. Hopefully he's got a few more years left, but who knows? But as he said, he learned more in 3 weeks from these coaches than he has his entire career.
Wow.
So this is the best staff that by far that's been there since he's been there.
As a Vikings fan, that makes me very happy to hear something like that. That they got it right. All right, at this time, let's put on our picks for the Vikes-Packers game. I will go last. Pops?
31-17, Minnesota.
Ooh. All right.
You know what? I think it's going to be a close game. It's gonna be a game we should win. I'm going to go 33-20, Vikes. 33-20. I think we're going to put up 33 this week. I think we're going to create some turnovers on the defense. I think Joseph is going to make a mark again this week. And, I think we're going to play press man on their wide receivers. I mean, is there any wide receiver on Green Bay that strikes fear into you right now? I don't think so. I mean, that team is completely different without Jordy Nelson, in my opinion. So I think we're going to play press man. I think it's going to be a good game, but I think at the end of the day, 33-20 Vikes.
Well, they still got Randall Cobb. He can fly. Georgia Vikings.
Yeah.
Well, you know me. I've been good with my picks here lately. I've been good with my picks lately, so y'all just kiss it right now, okay? This week, I'm going with the Packers this week on a route 34-12, Green Bay.
What? I swear. I had to come down to Jackson and beat you like a redheaded stepchild right now, DB.
Do you want me? Do you want me to pick the Vikings this week? Really, Obi?
No. I want you to keep picking the opposite team. Keep doing it, but I don't like it.
I don't like it either, but I'm gonna keep doing it. Packers suck. Packers suck. I hate the Packers. Nothing right. Packers suck.
I'm going to go like 26-17, the good guys. I think it'll be a close game, maybe a late touchdown to put the nail in the coffin and fire up the bandwagon and get those carts in front of the horses and all that fun stuff. And that's how I see it. They're a wounded animal. We're not going to kill them. It's going to be a close game until like the final minutes when we score a late touchdown or something to put them away. And I'm happy with that.
So right now we're all four on board. So that leaves Olsen. Is Olsen going to stay with us, or is he going to be the traitor this week? Olsen.
Well, where I'm coming from, we're going to win 34-17. That's the way it's going to go. I've gone through this many times this week, but Green Bay has shit for defense. They are in the bottom third and deeply into the bottom third of the defense. Well, they're ranked 24, so maybe not deeply, but both sides of their defense is pretty bad. They're down in the 20s, so I think we're going to be able to run on this team, and I think Teddy's going to be able to throw on this team as well. I think we're going to be able to mix it up against them, and they're not going to be able to run with our horses. The flip side of that is they don't have a deep threat. Yeah, they got a couple guys who can run downfield, but they don't have anybody reliable for them right now catching the ball downfield. Rodgers does have his one tool in his arsenal, which is this quick slants and those flippy, dippy passes that he does. But he's going up against a defense with some real big strength in that area as well, with fast linebackers. So I don't think he's going to be able to get away with that as much as he has been in the past. And they're going to run into some real problems against this team. And I honestly think we're going to win by 17. We're going to hold true with our points per game, right around 17.1. And I think the offense puts up 34 this week.
I like it.
Wow. I like it, Olsen. I like it, buddy.
Yeah, reasoned.
You are stepping up this week, brother.
That's right. The positivity. I'm feeling the positivity. You know, halftime last week, people were worried that I might be, towing the line up on Lafayette Bridge over the Mississippi because I got a little negative about the play calling at the end of the first half. But I said no, we're going to pull this game through and we're going to win. And sure enough, Oakland just wasn't able to do shit in the second half. I don't think they scored a single point in the second half, did they?
No.
Yeah, see, so, Carr's no Rodgers, but he can sling the ball pretty good, and we locked down in their house, and I don't see Rodgers getting away with a whole hell of a lot in ours.
While we're talking about our house, this team has been playing phenomenal outdoors. Is it going to affect them next year when they move back indoors?
No, not one bit.
Not I don't think at all.
I can't see how a team's going to be hurt by having no wind, steady weather conditions, playing at home. I think we're going to have another true home field advantage in that new stadium. And these players, they're going to be able to play outside, inside. It's not going to matter. This team's built to win.
Yeah, but when you build a team for outdoors and they play outdoors in the cold, like the Purple People Eaters did, you have that mental advantage. Now, teams now won't be afraid to come into 70-degree weather in Minnesota.
Obviously, Denny Green did a good job doing it. Bud Grant did a good job with it when he had the time he had the teams. Jerry Burns did a good job with it. That dome field advantage. Ask Mike Ditka about the roller dome. That place is sweet.
Team was built for that. This team seems to be built for outdoors.
This team's built for everything. We went to Detroit, win.
Yeah, one game.
He had his best game there, didn't he?
Yeah. So it's playing inside of a dome isn't going to be nothing. They're playing on the thick turf, kind of like almost like a natural grass, but it's still a thick turf. But not to have to deal with the wind every week. That's an advantage right there because they're going to. Seriously, that place is going to be so awesome. I'm so excited for it, and it's not necessarily just the playing conditions because each team hates it. Because it's not like back in the day when all these guys lived in Minnesota and were all the time year round and dealt with this cold crap all year, and they were used to it. These guys are coming up from Florida and Georgia and Texas, and no matter what you think, they go back there in the off season. It's still damn cold up there for all of them. So no matter what team they play for, it's still cold.
All right, that's just playing devil's advocate.
One thing I want to ask you guys is, I know we're kind of getting ahead of ourselves here, but let's just assume for a moment the Vikings are one of the two home field advantage teams in the playoffs. You tell me who the wants to come to Minnesota in January, other than the ice bitch. They got to come up there and play football. Are you shitting me? I mean, seriously, it's a serious question. Who, other than Green Bay, and maybe you could make an argument for Chicago, but who wants to come to Minnesota? Can you imagine?
I don't even like to go and get in my car. And that's an attached garage.
I'll give you guys a great story. When my wife and I first moved to Arizona from Minnesota, we took my wife's truck in to get service. The guy came out and said, "Hey, the truck looks great, but I got a question for you." I said, "What's that?" He goes, "What's that plug-in, that extension cord coming out the bottom of your wife's truck for?" I said, "Oh, that's a block heater. So your truck can start in the morning." He goes, "Get the out of here. He does not need me." Now you tell me what these guys in Carolina, it gets cold in Carolina. I think the Carolina's 35, 40 degrees. It might get an occasional snow at melting. You tell me what someone from down south is going to do when they come up to Minnesota mid-January. I'll tell you one thing, that is going to be ugly for anyone coming into Minnesota.
The best example I can use is a certain Atlanta Falcons team that plays indoors, that went to Lambeau Field and stopped their home winning playoff streak. It doesn't matter anymore. These players all hate the cold. They all hate it. They'll act like they're badasses and can deal with it. It still sucks. But you know what? It is what it is, and I wouldn't want to play there. The Vikings don't want to play there. No one wants to play in it. It sucks. You're pumping gas. I remember living in Minnesota. You try not to move so your pant legs don't hit your leg. Try to block yourself out of the wind. I don't miss that. That was like 3 minutes pumping gas. I'm like, just don't move so the wind doesn't cut through you. No, there's a reason I live in Georgia.
You're right, but everybody hates it. Everybody, as Brian said, we all got to play in the same weather, so it doesn't matter. If it's cold to them, it's cold to us. But the advantage we get over it is the fact that those guys are up there when it gets cold and it stays cold, and they're there. They adapt to it there. If you got somebody like you said coming from Atlanta or who Tampa Bay, somebody down south or even California, the advantage they got is they live in it. They're living there. They're staying there. They get adapted to it. And when they come up there to play a game, it's a shock to them. It's like, oh shit, we got to play in this crap? Are you kidding me?
When
they've been practicing in it all week.
When you live here, you get your mind wrapped around it. Okay, even if you've never lived in it before, even if you're a football player here, born and raised down in Florida, but when you're here during the season and getting acclimated to it, you wrap your mind around it. You understand. When you just fly in because you're based out of some other city, and you fly in and you have to realize what -3 feels like, that's a whole different look, we up here it gets below 0, you just say it's bullshit out. That it doesn't matter, -10, it's bullshit. That's all that matters. You don't even think about the number anymore.
Here's my question. Is the new stadium going to have grass, real grass like Arizona has, or is it going to be more of a turf type deal? Anyone
turf.
know?
It's going to be the long turf, kind of like they had in the Metrodome, is from my understanding. The second set of turf, the last set they put in the dome, which is more like a natural grass. They had the pellets in it. Unlike the AstroTurf front step stuff that they used to have in the dome.
So it's still a turf, technically, correct?
I think Mike knows.
Yeah, that's right. It is going to be a turf. I think it's actually going to be the same stuff that they're playing on at TCF Bank right now. So,
all right.
See, to me, that's an advantage because this team is built around youth and speed. And right now, that's one of the things that the Vikings have a lot of. So to me, moving into that new stadium is going to be I think it's going to be a bigger advantage than playing outside. Except when it hits in January, then we're going to have a true advantage, I think, come January, especially if we get home field, because I just cannot see this team losing in January if we have home field. I really can't. So I got my fingers crossed that we get home field. It's going to be interesting as we go down the stretch. But no doubt about it, this week's game, you know, if you want home field, this is one of those games you look at on the schedule and go, we got to win this game. So we'll see how it all plays out.
I agree with your home field this year, just to the fact that we rely more upon defense and a power running game. If we were a passing team, I don't know how well the cold would play into our hands.
All right, let's move it along. Let's go into our upsets. Jordan DeVite, you get a pick for us this week.
Oh goodness, hey, lucky me again, huh? Hey, we ended up pretty well last week, didn't we? Weren't we three of us 3-0?
Yeah, we all picked the right one last week, but you know the big ball award went to OBM. No doubt about that.
Yeah. Well, I'll forget about that one soon, so he can remind me.
Oh, he will.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Whoa. Let's stop for a moment and just worship OBM for a moment for calling the upset of the year. Pops, are you with me? Was that not the upset pick of the year? Green Bay losing to Detroit in Lambeau. Come on, give it up.
All right, golf clap.
He was so confident about it, he would not put money on the line with me.
Actually, you know what, guys? OBM got the first pick, got the biggest pick of the week right. I'm going to go to him first instead. Sorry, Georgia Vike.
No, I appreciate that.
No problem. OBM, you're first then.
Oh, you're going to put all the pressure on me. I see how it is. You know what?
You want us to worship you.
Wait a minute. The only reason I didn't want to take your money, buddy. I knew you just moved into a new house. Things are a little tight maybe down there. You know, I was like, do I want to take TV's $20? No, I already took clock stars, bitch. So you know what? This week, I'm just going to call right now. You ready? 49ers over the Hawks in Seattle. Blaine Gabbert. That's my boy, Blaine Gabbert. He's going to light up the Seahawks. Richard Sherman, 24-13, 49ers. Take it to the bank. If anybody's in Vegas right now listening to this, do not put money on this. Do not put money on this because you don't want to be held liable. So you're losing your ass, your house, your wife, anything. But right now, I'm looking at the Seahawks. They're reeling right now. And I think the Niners, Blaine Gabbert, I can't really name anyone else on that team. Seahawks are going to lose this week. Screw the Seahawks. 49ers all the way.
So take it to the bank, but don't bet on it. Okay.
Exactly, Bob. Exactly.
Man, you
wow.
You've lost your effing mind.
I didn't steal your thunder, did I, GB?
No, God, no. You know, see, it's good to be lucky one week rather than be like, you know, the Jimmy the Greek. Jimmy the Greek, all right?
We'll call, wait a minute, we'll call it last week. This week when it happens, you'll be calling me Jimmy the Greek, OBM. That just can't happen.
Yeah, if it happens, I will, mark my words, 1 week from today, I will call you Jimmy the OBM, okay?
Yes. I love it. We've got proof right now.
OBM the great cat. Whatever. Either way.
What is everybody else's pick? I gotta hear this. This is the best part of the show. I love it.
I'm going anti-OBM this week, and I'm picking the Redskins over his Carolina Panthers.
Would love to see that happen. Would love to see it.
Undefeated team going down.
Pops, you want in on this?
Hey, I'll have to go with that because I want somebody to beat the Panthers, and I'd pick anybody each week if I knew it's going to be right. So I'm gonna do that. We need 2 losses on the Panthers.
Us Southern guys gotta stay together, Pops.
Yeah, bro.
That's right. I got called the Southerner last night in a TV show, and I was like, or a radio show. I was like, what? Southerner. But now I'm a Southerner, I guess. So us Southerner get together and take care of this shit for them, all right?
Ain't nothing wrong with being a Southerner.
That's right. Hell yeah. That's pride. That's heritage, boy.
That's it, buddy.
Damn straight. Mike Olson.
Yeah, I got one for you. I'm going to go with Cincinnati over Arizona. I know it's not the biggest stretch in the world, but I'll take Cincinnati over Arizona.
Whoa. You can't do that. When I pick an undefeated team in an upset, I got my ass chewed.
Who's undefeated? Who's undefeated?
Whatever they are. Come on.
What are you talking about?
You don't know.
You know what? That's not a bad pick. I just think it might be almost as bad as my original pick, Wilson. So it's right there, buddy. It's right there. If they were 9-0, you'd really get a lot of shit right now. But I'm gonna let you off the hook. I like it, but is someone going to have the ball to pick the Bears over the Broncos? That's my question. Brock, I don't know. I can't even say the guy's name. Does someone have the ball? Bob. Do you have the ball?
Yeah.
You know what? That was probably my second choice. My first choice, I like the Texans over the Jets.
Shut up.
Really? Yeah, really good. I'm gonna have to pour another drink after that pick, buddy. Seriously?
Would you rather have the clap or crabs, dude? You know, come on. That's a okay.
Wow. Yikes.
That game. Would you watch that game, Bob?
No.
Exactly.
No.
All right.
You know what? Here should be the new rule. All of us have the Sunday ticket. Bob, you should be required to watch that motherfucking game.
Yeah, set your torture for me.
I usually, if it's on Sunday Night Football or it's on Monday Night Football or Thursday Night Football, I don't give a shit if the worst 2 teams in the league are playing. I gotta watch it. On Sunday, I watch 1 game, and maybe 2. I watch the Cowboys games because I have to sometimes. Sometimes because I want to see them get their ass kicked.
You just want to be able to talk shit, don't you?
Oh yeah.
All right, let's wrap this show up, guys. It was a wonderful show as we go into Sunday against the Packers.
The Packers.
Isn't that what I said? Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
At this time, we would like to thank our guest, 96 Pop, for joining us. As always, we thank everybody at home for listening and supporting us. We thank you. We love you. Please continue to support. And I know we're all going to be on Sunday, right in front of that TV if you're not in the stadium. I better hear you from my house. Go Vikings. Thanks, guys. Great show. Let's wrap it up. Let's say goodnight.
And good night, everyone. Thanks, Bob. Wonderful host, such again. Thanks, Pops, for coming up. Olson, Obi, you think you're going to get it right again this week? I think you're out of your mind, man. There's no way. You're nuts. You're nuts. Nuts.
Yeah.
Niners. Here's that Will Ferrell yoga skit from SNL. That's going to be you this week, dude, if they win. That's gonna be you. That ain't gonna be me.
Hey, don't forget, Jimmy, the Greek OBM. Next week, everybody tune in. Huh? Next time I'm in Texas, we're going fishing, buddy.
Come on, brother.
All right, brother.
OBM the freak my ass. It'd be OBM the freak next week is when it's gonna be. There's no way. No way.
Oh man, I'm a freak in the boat, baby. I'm a freak in the boat.
I don't even want to know. I don't want to.
You sound like a freak with the bowl.